So, Adrian, I mean, such a timely topic, right? We've just come through the election. We've just come through Thanksgiving. Families are
Yeah.
divided. States are divided, and it's just such an interesting topic. I loved when, the research showed. Look, 3 out of 4 people want a more united country. They want less stress, and yet, never have we been more divided. So, I'm really curious. What were 2 or 3 of your big takeaways?
Yeah, so many. It's like, wow. First off, research shows Thanksgiving dinner's an hour
An
shorter.
hour
Yeah.
shorter. I know.
Because, and I noticed this too, is like, I'm just waiting for somebody to say something awkward, and it's like, and I'm ready to change the subject. And I'm so nervous just being around a big group that I know have very different views on some things. And so, but as this 3 out of 4 says, we don't want to be that way. We want to find that shared common ground, which we all have.
Yeah, it seems so often that people are looking to be offended. They're waiting for that trigger moment to jump in. Um, I really appreciated her whole take on bridging differences, and this idea of listening and distancing yourself, right? And saying, why is Chester so angry? Take a step back and take that layer of away. It's interesting when I was first looking at her work and it said self distancing. I thought she meant like get up and leave the room, you know,
Yeah.
which is
And
probably not a bad
unfortunately, we're
idea
doing
either,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also found the study with the Manchester United football team really interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
When we're Manchester United fans, we're less likely to help a rival. When we think of ourselves as football fans or soccer fans, as we say in the States, we're more likely to help. I thought that was a really interesting shift, finding that common ground.
And I think I've seen similar studies on different kind of perspectives where, yeah, when researchers break down who those others are, and we see them as, like I say, in a way shared, that all of a sudden we feel a connection to them. And I think that's kind of getting what she's getting at with this idea of shared identity as well. Look, we're all in the Man U, we're all soccer/football fans. We all have our own teams, but we're all passionate about it and we love the game. Great. That's a shared identity, and you find some sharedness in that. Well, likewise with the people in our families, our neighbors, etc. What are the things we can connect with? And unfortunately, as we know, inevitably somebody may say, yeah, but what about, and
Yeah,
can
the what
bring it
about?
back,
Yeah,
kindly bring it back. Right?
yeah. It's like I love hockey, but I hate Ranger fans. I mean,
Yeah.
well, they
Yeah.
love hockey too, right? Or they wouldn't be Ranger fans. It is interesting when we can find that common ground. I really appreciated when she talked about when you know their story. Where did they come from? Like, how did you come to that opinion on whatever the trigger is, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
guns or politics or immigration, because the backstory tells you a lot. Say, well, that's not my experience. That was and now because of your backstory, because of yours, now I kind of get it. I can have a little more empathy for you and what you're doing. I thought
Well,
that
and
was a
she's
really good
pushing
take.
us even further to say it's not just empathy, it's love. I mean, how
Yeah,
tough,
this thing
but
is love.
that. I mean, you and I, we're church going guys. That's what we're taught, right?
Yeah.
Is to love, and it's hard sometimes. And yet, here's a scientific organization at UC Berkeley saying that's what you got to get to. And so, what we learned for what we've been all taught for years and years is exactly right. It's
Yeah.
not just putting up with them. It's not just being empathetic. It's loving them.
I had
Wow.
a funny experience with a friend. He says, you and I are so different. Like we don't agree on literally anything. And yet you always tell me you love me. Why? I go,
That's great.
I'm commanded to. It's part of my
well,
faith.
well, hopefully it's more than just a commandment. But that's a great place to start.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
hopefully it's in our hearts too.
yeah.
But yeah, that's good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. Anyway, well, listen, it was a lot of great takeaways, and I always like to end with a shout out to our sponsor, Magic Mind. I really am a big fan of this product. It's all natural. There's nothing in there. If you read the ingredients, you'd go, "Ooh, geez, I don't want to ingest that," And it really does calm my mind. I found that when I'm under a lot of stress, like Adrian, you and I present all over the world, and I will often the morning of make sure that I take my Magic Mind. I just love that it says it's a mental performance shot, right? Reclaim your brain, all that, that anxiety and all that stuff really does seem to calm down. It's a quick little shot. You can sign up. And again, because you're listening, go to magicmind.com/Gostigan Elton 20, and you'll get a 20% discount, which is always nice to get. But,
Can't beat that.
Adrian, I find that when we do these podcasts, it calms me down. Your very presence, Adrian, my dear friend, we've been friends for forever, it seems like. And isn't that interesting that when you're around people that you really do love and admire, that lowers your anxiety too. So I want a little shout out to you, Adrian. You calm me down. You reduce my anxiety, and I appreciate that.
Well, thanks. And yet, it's funny. Our mentor, Marshall Goldsmith, sometimes does the opposite for us. He makes us more anxious because he challenges us. And you got that this morning with Marshall challenging you in a meeting, but it was good, right?
Yeah. It was great. No, really, it was great.
That's awesome. Hey, somebody who challenges our thinking always is our producer, Brent Klein. Brilliant. And so is Christy Lawrence, who helps us find amazing guests. And thank you to all of you who listened in. If you like the podcast, please share it. Also, we'd love you to visit thecultureworks.com for some free resources for you and your team.
And if you like to have people come and speak on, culture and gratitude and anxiety in the workplace, resilience, please give us a call. We do it in person, we do it virtually, and we literally do it all around the world. Give us a call. We'd like to talk to you about your event. And of course, please pick up a copy of our book, Anxiety at Work. It was a bestseller. And we found that, people do tell us that, 2 or 3 of those things really helped me. Not only helped me at work, it helped me and my family. Our growing practice of executive coaching is there too. So if you need some one-on-one help, please, get a hold of Christy. Visit us at thecultureworks.com. We'd be honored to be your executive coach as well. So Adrian, that pretty much wraps it up. What would you say?
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us. Until next time, we wish you the best of mental health.